Welcome, friends. This is the You Can Emerge Positive podcast, and I am so grateful that you are here. I'm Deanne Lewis, founder of Emerge Positive, and we're halfway through the month of December. We are barreling through the holidays, we're barreling through the cheer, we're barreling through the stress and the crazy and the to-dos. And so today I really wanted to talk about something that also is talked about a lot at this time of year, and that is peace. You know, Inner peace is something so critical in our lives, and yet we may not really feel it so much this time of year. I mean, have you been to a mall lately? Being in a parking lot is just crazy. This is why I do everything online. I swear I barely go to malls anymore. Maybe you're the same. But peace is something that we strive for. I think everyone strives for in life. And it's not something that you find out there, right? It's not something that's in the world. It's not a person, it's not a circumstance, it's not a thing. It is something that comes from within. It's something that we must choose and we must embrace and grow in our life. And there are two main things that really create peace in our life. And those are the two things we're going to dig into today because peace is something that is important that we all want, right? I mean, you want it, I want it. And I'll tell you, this last week, I was really presented with how quickly peace can just completely be thrown out the window. So overall, I feel like I'm a pretty peaceful person. I'm a happy person. I don't get angry very often. I'm generally in a good mood, good space. It's just like my normal way of living. But last week, I got thrown additional responsibilities. So my husband went away on a business trip for a full week, which means I had to take on all of the responsibilities of the household and our family, as well as my business responsibilities. So I'm grocery shopping, I'm cooking dinner every night, I'm taking kids to and from school. I have all of, the garbage and recycling. Oh my gosh, I hate doing that. And I never do it. Normally, that's my husband's job, but I had to do that. And I just launched Beyond by Emerge Positive. And so all of that was part of that launch and all of the lead in was crazy. And so I was trying to juggle it all at once. And I got to tell you, it was super overwhelming. I got really stressed and I got really anxious. I had horrible sleep and peace was just like nowhere to be seen. And by day, like I'd say the first 5 days, I was like a hamster just running on a wheel, getting up, diving in, run, get everything done, and then just crash at night, not sleep well, and get up and do it the next day. Can you relate? If you feel like you're on a hamster wheel and you're running every day and you're not pausing for yourself and taking time for you and to replenish and have some form of peace in your life, well, you're going to feel like I did, which is the stress and anxiety. And that is no way to live. So on day 6, woke up and realized, oh my gosh, here I am preaching to the rooftops, like you have to have a morning routine and you have to take time for yourself and how self-care is so essential, blah, which it is. But that was the first thing I threw out. I mean, I stopped meditating, I stopped exercising, I stopped the whole thing because I was so overwhelmed and driven by, oh my gosh, I have to do this, and then this. So, the first of those two things that I was talking about that you need to have for peace is acceptance. Acceptance for the circumstance of what is going on in your life. And that is directly tied to resistance. Resistance to what is happening in your life, if you are resisting it, that is the source of all the stress and all of the pain and all the suffering that you are experiencing. And the key is to recognize that the resistance comes from you and you have full control to just stop that. Now, when we're in it, like I just was, we tend, and I did this too, we just kind of push through and we drive because we have these expectations and we're focusing on whatever it is that we need to get done. But we're not accepting that this circumstance is okay. We're not accepting that we don't need to be perfect. Everything doesn't necessarily have to get done. We need to accept what is actually happening and give ourselves permission to not be perfect because we are not, and not resist what's going on. See, secretly, what I was doing was resisting, right? I'm used to my own routine that does not involve all of that excess. And I was resisting what I needed to do, which was causing me a lot more pain and suffering and stress. So, acceptance is the first piece. And the second piece is forgiveness. Now, forgiveness, this is a tricky one because you could be forgiving yourself, you could be forgiving somebody else, you could be forgiving the circumstance. But whatever it is, forgiveness is the second key to be able to have peace in your life. Now, forgiveness does not mean that you are saying to that person, as an example, that you are accepting and validating that what they did was okay, because you're not. It may not be okay, but you need to forgive not for them, but for you. And forgiveness is, it always comes with anger, right? Like if you need to forgive somebody, you're angry with them. They have done something to you that has harmed you, that has pissed you off, or whatever, right? It is not good. You're angry. And so to forgive sometimes is really hard because let's just face it, anger is really, it feels great. If you're mad at someone and you know without a shadow of a doubt that you are right and they are wrong, well, kind of simmering in that anger can feel good. And I'm not telling you to not be angry. You have to have anger in your life. It's not human to not be angry. But what you do have control over and what you should work on is to let the anger go as quickly as you can. So be angry for a day, stew in it, feel good about it. It does feel good when you know you're right, but then let it go. Because holding on to anger does not fix it. It does not help that person either. It does nothing for them. All you're doing is poisoning yourself because holding on to anger, that grudge, that judgment, all that does is grow within you if you don't choose to let it go. And forgiveness is one of the keys and one of the things you need to do on the pathway to peace. It's just the way it is. Acceptance and forgiveness. You know, um, the other thing that I think a lot of people do in this kind of pathway to peace, what I have seen a lot in my coaching and when I'm working and mentoring with people is of all ages too, by the way, is we create these measurements for ourselves. We create these rules of, well, I have to be married by a certain age. I have to buy a house by a certain age. My partner has to be this tall, make such and such money, and, treat me in a certain way and drive a certain car. Like we create these rules, whether we're conscious of them or not. Most of the time, I think we are. And then we kind of measure our life to them. So let's say that you think that you're supposed to buy a house by the age of 30. Your friends buy their house at 28, and now you're 35 and you feel like a loser. Like, what is wrong with me? I'm angry that I haven't been able to buy a house yet. And I hear this a lot from Gen Z millennials, both of them. But the reality is that that's a made up rule. It's like, who says you have to buy a house by a certain age? I bought my first house at the age of 46, 46 years old. And I was totally fine with it. I didn't measure my value on the timeline of when I bought a house because, again, it's a made up rule. It is a made up timeline. So, one of the things as far as the acceptance part is to get rid of the rules and to recognize that these are made up. So many of us are kind of looking at other people, specifically on social media, but the people in our lives. So whether it be your sister or your cousin or your neighbor or your colleague or a friend, where you are looking at their life and you're measuring your value to where they are versus where you are. And if you are not living up to those levels, all of a sudden you're wrong. You make yourself wrong and then you are in resistance. You are suffering. So this is just another thing. of getting in the way of our peace. That's real. It's like a real thing that so many of us are dealing with, maybe even unconsciously. So I wanted to bring that up because at this time of year, if you're single, and you're going to family events because it's holiday and show up alone again and people are asking, why don't you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? And all of a sudden you feel bad. Well, stop it. Like, there's no rule that says you have to be with a partner that to make you valuable or to make you good. Like, that is the most ridiculous thing ever. And I know it exists. I was there too when I was younger. And by the way, I was single for 10 years as an adult. I mean, I've been there. I understand it. But it is a made up rule. And I guess that's the one thing I want you to understand and to see clearly is that these rules that we have about money, the rules that we have about lifestyle, and the rules about where we're supposed to be in life, when we're supposed to have kids, if we're supposed to have kids, all of that, that's just made up. Live your life on your terms. Accept you as who you are. Forgive your parents if they're putting pressure on you on the timelines. Forgive them for that. And forgive yourself for being so hard on yourself. So, acceptance and forgiveness are the two main levers to find peace in this holiday season. And it's so easy to do and crucial to do, but yet sometimes we don't want to do it. I mean, it can okay, I shouldn't say it's so easy to do. Sometimes it's very hard to do forgiveness, especially when, like I said, when you feel like you're right, and also for yourself. To forgive yourself sometimes can be very difficult, but that is also a choice. Peace is on the other side. So open the door and walk through. You will never look back. You will never think, oh, I really wish I didn't forgive myself, or I really wish I hadn't forgiven them. You will never say that. You will always feel better and more at peace and just happier in your overall life. And isn't that what you want to feel like right now? This is a time of year that is so fun and so magical. And if we don't have peace within ourselves, we can't enjoy it. You can't enjoy all of the miracles and all of the fun and all of everything that is just so merry and wonderful around you if you are not choosing peace. So focus on what you can do in the forgiveness department. Like ask yourself, is there something with me or a circumstance that I need to forgive? And what do I need to be more accepting of in my life? And if you think about what is that, like think of one thing that is kind of major or just enough to be disruptive in your life. And if you chose to forgive or to accept that circumstance or person, what would that look like in your life? How would you feel? Do it. Give the gift of peace to yourself. You will never look back, I promise you. In this program, Beyond by Emerge Positive, we're going to be talking about this and working on bringing acceptance and forgiveness and peace into our lives because it is part of living a life that you love. It is part of designing your next decade. If you are a woman 45 or older and you are interested in designing your chapter two, come join us. We are open now to founding memberships. What that means is we have discounted the monthly rate by half, and you will be at that rate for the rest of the time that you're in the program. So as long as you stay in, you'll have the half rate. It's $19 a month, normally $39. And for this month only, we're going to do that because we're just starting. You'll be getting in from the ground up. You'll have a voice in the community, and you will help drive where this goes. It is such an exciting time. So go to emergepositive.com to find out more and to sign up. It is literally no risk. There's a 30 back money guarantee, and you can cancel it anytime that you want throughout the program. So literally no risk to you, only upside. Come join us. To do the next step, to that create that chapter two, you don't need to do that alone. Come join like-minded women who are doing it right alongside you, holding you accountable and cheering you on. Well, I'm so grateful that you came again to the You Can Emerge Positive podcast. We are almost to the end of the year. We're almost to um, Christmas. We're almost to Hanukkah. Like all the fun stuff is happening in the next 2 weeks. So it is time to find the peace and find the fun. I hope that you leave today remembering that you have control of the outcome of your life. Your mindset, your perception, your choices, your actions, you are creating every single step. So choose peace. Include acceptance and forgiveness into your day and your week and watch what unfolds. Remember, you can emerge positive. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next Wednesday.